Hello, Tracy.
Hello. Hi, Gail. Happy
Hey.
2021.
Happy
How are you?
2021. Yes. Oh, we're recording. I'll just message you directly.
Okay.
I was going to thank you for something.
I'm going to pause.
Okay, the screen share should have started.
Yeah, I can see it.
Awesome. All right, please fill in the attendee section up here. And we can jump in. I wanted to start with a debrief based on the Ortelius announcement and process and all that stuff. Last time we had just published everything, I think like during the TOC meeting almost, if I remember correctly. So any notes on that we can discuss?
Yes, I can go ahead. Sorry, I'm trying to find stuff. Yeah, no, we Ortelius was our new project. So we had the launch. Oh my goodness, it seems so long ago now. Back in December. Yeah, is it a month ago? Was it December? So that went really well, and we had. I'll share some links to some coverage we had, but certainly folks at DevOps.com, and I think they were things at NewStack. And Jackie is, do you want to mention we have some of the Ortelius community doing some podcasts and things coming up this month?
So on the 12th, there's a panel from the community, and then also Tracy Reagan. So we're going to be doing a recording on the Ortelius, and then we have also on January 27th, we have a webcast introducing Ortelius, and Steve Taylor will be doing a demo of it. But yeah, we had also a press release that went out that got picked up, I think by like 5 or 7, different publications. And then we also had the blog. So yeah.
I found the NewStack article. I've just put it there. So that was a nice headline. Ortelius battles microservices sprawl with configuration mapping and version control. So yeah, I think one of the big things is just in general for CDF, we definitely kind of want folks to see it's, we cover a large part of the software delivery lifecycle. And I think Ortelius is the first project that helps folks to start to see that it's not just kind of integration and deployment tools, but we're looking at wider things. We're looking at emerging technologies, and we're going to help kind of continue to build up a set of projects in that space. So Ortelius certainly did that, and we certainly had. I was fielding lots of questions about, why is that such a different project from some of the other projects? So that certainly sets the direction that we're going to go in terms of expanding the scope of CDF.
Awesome. Is Tracy or Steve on the call? Have you noticed any new interest or activity on the project? I know it's also hard to say with the holidays when nobody's really doing anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, Dan, I have another agenda item.
Oh, sure.
Well, maybe I'll consult with Fatih. I know we were having conversations in the interoperability SIG about the promotion of the events working group. I thought that group, are we in a position to just have that discussion at the TOC and perhaps finalize that today? Because I think there was a really good discussion at interoperability.
Yeah, I think we had a discussion on this during our last meeting, and the workstream members planning to bring that topic to the next TOC meeting in 2 weeks. They are currently working on a charter for their proposal, so it should appear in a week or two to you or Dan to be added to the agenda.
Okay, perfect. Yes, yeah. So yeah, if anybody is interested in standardizing events in CI/CD, those folks are putting together their charts. So they've already been working at it, like under the interoperability group. But I think we had a good discussion that it's worth kind of elevating and pulling in more folks to be part of that conversation. Oh, and Steve Taylor is on the line if we wanted to ask about Ortelius.
We're having internet problems here, so we're just getting caught up.
Cool. So
you're saying that
New
Mexico is not ready for all of us to move there yet, is what I'm hearing.
Just like
No, don't move here. Low internet.
Yeah, it's something with Comcast out of our office. You know, it only goes two directions, north to Denver and west to Arizona. So that's the only way we can get out of the state.
Sorry, jumping back. Fatih, do you know who had the action item to bring the events working proposal to the talk, just so I can follow up with them and make sure I don't miss it?
I think 3 of them are working together, like Andrea Fritoli from IBM, Emil Beckmark from Ericsson, and Andreas from Dynatrace. This week we have a meeting Thursday. I will remind them that they need to reach out to you or like Tracy to get that topic added, or they can add themselves if that's fine.
Okay, yeah, that works.
I will remind them. Yeah.
Got a note here where I can check in with Andrea if we miss it.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Anything else on that one, Tracy?
Nope.
No, Steve, if you can hear us, we had just moved on, but I was asking if you had noticed any kind of changes in activity on Ortelius after the announcements went out. Also keeping in mind that it was the holidays, so everything was slow anyway.
Yeah, we did. We've had some new contributors join in. And we did, Tracy Reagan did 4 or 5 interviews around that release as well.
Awesome. Thanks. Hopefully that continues through the new year when everyone gets back to their computers. All right. Next topic was annual report check-in. I think Jackie was driving a lot of this.
Yeah. So I actually, so from the projects, I know Spinnaker, Melissa already dropped in information. From the TOC, Dan, I haven't seen anything in the slide deck, so let me know if you sent me an email with all the information on like what you want to write about the TOC, and also for Tecton. But I think we're in pretty good shape. I just really, my next step is just to kind of compile everything and put it on the website as a web page. But yeah, I know like Fatih put in his stuff. So I think all of the SIGs are covered. I know Terry entered information for the ML ops. And then I know Jithan sent me an email with stuff about Screwdriver. And again, for the projects, all of that data points, we're giving them till mid-January. I think it was like the 13th is our deadline. Because we know that folks were still coming back from the holidays, and I know, for example, like the Jenkins folks are still working on that information. So yeah, I think we're in good shape to get published on like we mentioned, the week of the 18th through the 22nd.
Awesome. I thought I entered all my stuff, but I'll double check to see.
I don't see it on the TOC slide, so let me know.
Okay, I see the Tecton stuff in there, so at least I did something. I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll double check.
Okay, yeah, because I also just want to make sure that there's a representation of the TOC.
And I'll drop a link in here. Anybody's welcome to add things to the TOC slide as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be me.
Exactly. Yep. So it's just me just putting everything together now, bringing it all together.
Awesome. Thanks, Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
White papers. I left this one here from the last topic. was trying to remember exactly what we covered, and I thought there were still a couple discussion points on these. We can skip it if there's nothing here, Tracy.
Yeah, just a quick summary. I think this was just kind of queued behind the annual report, so we should be able to move it forward this month. The Google Doc is there. We'll kind of be processing it, and then once it's ready, taking that to the interoperability group for further feedback, and then looking to sort of set dates to release it. But it's just kind of in the pipeline for the moment.
Cool. GSOC, we had some updates here that I think I sent out over email, but I just wanted to reiterate. And then I think we also have some other deadlines to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I checked in with the Google GSOC team, and they said it's completely fine for us to move the Jenkins history over to the CDF. They're happy to do that for us. They said just include a note in the application that Jenkins is part of that request to remind them. But I gave them all the background, and they said they'll take care of that for us. So we shouldn't expect a drop in the block.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I've already communicated that to the Jenkins folks. I think our next step is figuring out who's going to be the org admins for GSOC 2021, who's going to be driving that, and who's going to be submitting the application. But in addition to that, we also need to understand from the community how many projects from each of the CDF projects will be needed, so we can gauge how many like spots we have available, and then if we need to also just ask for more.
Yep, that'd be great to have Otilius join in as well for this first time.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday on our outreach meeting, and we were just in the process of reviewing what we needed to do to apply. Do we need to apply under the CDF or as an individual project?
As the CDF, so we'll need somebody from like the TOC to drive that that one application, and then coordinate with everybody on how many spots they might need.
Yeah, and I suggest we use this meeting just to do the regular updates, just capture the mentors and the projects, and kind of progress the application.
It'd be nice if we had a little bit more balance. Like Tecton didn't participate last time. I know they were kind of interned out, was Christie's notable comment. And we had one for Screwdriver, two for
Spinnaker.
Oh, here you go. Oh, shoot. Sorry. On my way to the DMV. Pray for me. And then we had like, I don't know, what was it, like 9 or something for Jenkins? So
yeah,
I know Oleg wanted to make sure that they didn't lose spots, but I don't know if we need to do like a little bit more active solicitation. And then Dan, I don't know if, the Tecton team, what their plans are for 2021. But I would like to see just a little bit more sort of equity there and have things spread out a little bit more.
So, yeah, I think that's good from my position. Like I've always seen with these things, the bottleneck is mentors and getting the mentors who can dedicate time in the project. So, but if like I want to enable, if any mentors come to the table with the project, I want to figure out a way that they can have folks contribute, and whether it's through GSOC or through Outreachy or even through like Links Foundation's Community Bridge. Yeah, I think CDF should find a way to make this happen. So I'd almost challenge everybody to, for your projects or your community, come up with the mentors, and we'll just find a way to make that happen either through GSOC or some other channel. So yeah.
Right. And the other thought that I had was whether or not, if there's initiatives that are coming out of the SIGs, sort of, it's project adjacent, implementation or prototyping was another idea that I had that may be worth exploring.
Any comment from MLOps or Interop?
And by the way, Jackie, I'll help I'll help org the admin the org again this year.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I know I mentioned to Roxanne, because the Jenkins community actually has a blog on how to submit project ideas, and then they were going to scrub that list. So I was trying to also get something set up for us, so that if there are community members from like Tecton or any of the other communities that want to submit projects, we have a place to kind of keep everything. So I'll touch base with her. I know she's out sick today because I wanted to also do some promotion on this as well. And I thought a blog might be an easy way to do that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to help with that if that would be helpful.
Yeah, let me look. Let me grab it really quick from the I'm talking about. One sec.
So what do you need from the Artelius project as far as paperwork or, you know, what do you need for us to make this work?
Well, yeah, I think ideally who's going to be the like org admin for Ortelius, or the mentor, I guess that's what they call them, and then what your project idea is. So let me drop in this blog, and this is how the Jenkins community is doing it. And they're doing kind of like a call for mentors and project ideas. I think they just have like a folder in GitHub where folks can create a pull request and submit their idea that way through an .adoc file. So I think that's what we should do on the CDF GitHub repo. And then again, I'll ask Kara if she doesn't mind if I kind of just plagiarize her blog a bit and then just update it for the CDF, and then have folks start putting all their projects there, project ideas, and who wants to be a mentor there.
And Steve, just as an FYI, the recommendation is that there's actually 2 people in the project to act as a mentor to kind of split the load. That seems to have worked. That seems to work better.
All right.
Cool. Any other questions there?
I'll drop in this link as well where we had listed the project ideas for CDF and a link to if Ortelius needs to be added to that page, and then you can link out to your project specific ideas. So it might be worth just reviewing that page to see if it's up to date for 2021.
Cool. Let me copy that over into the agenda. End user council update. Who added this topic?
That was me. So I wanted to share an update. So CDF, we are a bunch of different communities, and we have a pretty strong engagement with our end user members. So just as an overview, end user members are the companies or people from companies who are not directly kind of offering solutions. So they're not software vendors, but they're actually using technology to try and improve their organization. So CDF, this tends to be a lot of financial companies. So folks like Fidelity, Capital One, but we've also got eBay and a bunch of other folks. So we have an end user council, which is led by Capital One, so John Mark Walker, very experienced in open source. He runs that council, and it's open to our end user members as well as guests. So folks who are in other companies trying to kind of adopt CD technology. So one of the things that's come from that group is, actually, do we have a few minutes then? I could go ahead and just share this, present a little bit of the presentation.
Yeah.
We
only have one more quick one after this, so go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take some time because I think it's pretty exciting what we're doing there. Okay, so that group is driving what they call kind of campaigns, which is something we'll be like working with them at CDF to do across the foundation. But the general idea is, like, they all know, they've joined CDF and they've come to the table because they understand there's huge benefits to continuous delivery, both for the teams, your processes, and your organization. But what is more of a problem is, how do you kind of adopt these practices? And so these folks in this group want to not only help their organization adopt the practices, but they also want to help the industry kind of get better and leverage CDF as the way to do that. So one of the suggestions, and I think this is kind of driven from the folks at Fidelity, is they felt like, okay, they're learning a lot of different stuff, but sometimes they don't have necessarily enough time to deep dive on a topic. So they wanted to have a lot of time, and I think we're coming to the amount of, like, we focus for a full quarter on a significant topic, and we do it as an industry deep dive. So we kind of get everybody thinking about that topic, kind of think of it as like an industry level swarming. And then we weave that topic into a lot of the CDF programs. So like the newsletter would be themed around that. We'd have special podcast episodes, webcasts. So we extend it to kind of all our members and our communities and say, hey, anybody who's doing work on this topic, come to the table and tell us what you're doing so we can put it all together. So for each topic, and let's say a topic is like security or compliance, that group was going to kind of get together and first have a discussion, a broad discussion, kind of like a brainstorm on that topic. And then sort of say, okay, from all the different things, let's say we're talking about DevSecOps, which bit should we pick that would help us move the industry forward, and it would help our companies, because that's like a really pressing concern. So we would kind of pick out a focus area after we kind of deconstruct it. Then each organization would share their approach to that. So they would bring, what is the reality at your company about what you're doing, whether it's good or bad. There's no kind of shame in it. It's not everybody's cutting edge, but what is the reality? Then we would invite folks who are doing some cutting edge stuff in that area. So again, if it's DevSecOps or compliance, whether it's open source or vendor products, to come and highlight what's being done. And then we would kind of put that all together and sort of say, okay, how should we as an industry approach this? Do we need to get people working together? Do we need to outline the choices? And then summarize any kind of findings in a webcast or in a white paper. And then, yeah, so I think in terms of how we do this, we would start off with some private end user council discussions, just because not everybody can share things publicly. But then for the things that can be public, we'd use the CDF podcast, the webcast, the newsletter, and then perhaps arrange some specific hackathons or roundtable sessions or kind of community experts. So just as a types of things. So this is not finalized, but when it is finalized, I'll share that round. But what I can tell you is we sort of agreed that each topic would be per quarter. And everybody agreed that measuring DevOps success would be the first topic. And then these will be kind of follow-on topics, but the order might not stay the same. So we might just prioritize them differently. But actually, a lot of people are interested in developer productivity as well. So it's very likely a second topic. So as an example, let's say we had a topic like measuring DevOps success. A lot of what the end users are saying, actually, one key focus area is on the 4 DORA metrics. And then we would ask everybody to go and talk about how they're doing that in practice today. And then we'd also ask kind of anybody working on tooling or dashboards in this space to come and, share that with us. So like, for example, I pulled this out of the excellent project Google has on the 4 keys, and that presentation from CDCon from Dina Portman. So we would get folks like Dina who are doing work at the cutting edge to kind of present what they're doing it. So this is Dina's slides about the 4 keys infrastructure and how it integrates with Tecton, and then how that connects up to GCP to put together a dashboard. So it's almost like we'd have everybody in our community who's working on anything to come to the table, have this discussion. Our end users are pretty keen to be involved, so they want to know, like, okay, what is the set of features we'd want? How would it work? Whether it's a proprietary tool or an open source tool, what do we want to see for it? So can we influence how people are building the tools?
And this, am I muted? No. And this brings up, I think, a really interesting opportunity, a good opportunity to like start to define a language and an emphasis. One of the things that I've seen a lot, unfortunately, is, you know, for example, the lack of understanding of correct measurement. Like developer productivity is becoming one of those hot point items where it's like, oh, this is Big Brother, you know, how many pull requests am I putting through, which is absolutely not what the productivity metric is actually supposed to measure on an individual basis. But there seems to be a lot of misunderstanding around stuff like that. And it leads down a dangerous path organizationally. So I think there's some really good opportunities here to try and drive some clarity around organizational health as the key goal versus sort of individualized developer tracking. It's a little bit disheartening, actually, how this seems to be evolving in social media right now.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point. Yeah, I think that's something, yeah, I'm going to take a note because I think that is something we'd want to highlight and sort of say, okay, yeah, anti-patterns versus good ways of doing it.
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay, and then, so just kind of imagining how this would look, and Tara, I think I've got your name on here, but this specifically for companies, I think for folks who can't come out to the open source, we were going to propose finding volunteers from our community who would go to different companies, particularly kind of some of our members who are requesting, you know, just to take the discussion there, to have a bit more openness where they can't necessarily come out and talk it in open source, but if we can go to them and have some facilitated discussions to help them kind of bring everybody on board to make changes, but also to get people involved in activities like if we want to promote an open kind of spec or standardization around a specific area. And then kind of as we're rounding up the topic, having a forum where we then present, like for the folks who can talk publicly about it and want to talk about the state of the art or the patterns or the anti-patterns, then we would have like a speaker and panel discussion so we can take that to the rest of the industry. And potentially we, at the end of each quarter, we're also putting together a white paper or a kind of CDF guide to blah, 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 or whatever it is, measuring DevOps success or anything. So we're kind of saying, okay, here's what we discovered about what people are doing. Here's what the cutting edge is. Here's our recommendations for the industry. And, you know, just kind of a call to action for the industry to push the space forward. And then while we were discussing this, I think it also came up that, like, if there were topics we could take to the interoperability group and say, hey, we're hearing from our end users, this is important to them, and they're frustrated with how everybody's reinventing the tool around measuring the DORA metrics or something like that, and they want to see greater standardization. Is that something the interoperability group can help standardize or help facilitate pushing, you know, picking up the reins for that? And then we can use that as a way to pull in members from those companies who want to help, because yeah, we're hearing a lot from our end user members. They want to embrace open source, they want to get stuck in, and they want to contribute as well. They just kind of need that structure, need to know it's tied to their company goals. Okay, so this was from last year. So yeah, so the idea is we will focus on these topics, and we're gonna, as CDF use that position of having all these great different types of members to just facilitate those broad conversations together. And I think this month I'll be able to have that calendar or set of topics, and then we'll start reaching out to folks. So that's it. I love your feedback, and I'd love to know, like, I think measuring DevOps will definitely be the first topic. So if there's anybody you know in the space, or if you're doing something in the space and you want to be part of those discussions or help push that forward, yeah, just let me know. And we're trying to get everything set up to really kind of deep dive on that this first quarter. Any questions, thoughts?
No questions. I think Tara summed up the concerns everybody would be thinking, but I think those concerns stem from this being a really exciting area and everybody being interested in it. So it's a great start.
Okay, so yeah, feel free to reach out to me or just let me know if you want any further information, or if you want to get involved. And yeah, I'll keep folks posted here as we progress it, because yeah, I'm super excited about this in 2021.
Tracy, can you share that the link to that slide deck that you have?
Yep.
Cool. So the one last topic I had here was just a reminder for monthly project updates. I know I was looking through some of the Tecton stuff over the last month, and it's been pretty slow. Everybody did a really good job of taking time off around the holidays. So if all the other projects are similar, we might just want to skip this month and get going again next month when everybody has hopefully some more updates as people catch back up. There's a link there in the agenda, and I'll drop it in here again too. So drop stuff in here if you have it. Otherwise, not a huge deal, and we can get started again next month. Any other topics for today? All right, then everybody gets 25 minutes back to catch up and defog their brains in this new year.
I'm trying to remember how to type and really scared about the state of my inbox.
Yeah. Good luck, everyone, and stay safe. See you in a few weeks.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
all.